Hey friends, Diane here. The next chapter in this book is such a beautiful one. It is called Grace on the Fringe, and Mr. Lucado uses the wonderful story of Ruth as a backdrop to show us how grace goes above and beyond mercy. He tells us how Jesus is our Boaz, who came to us when we were out of options and had no way of entering heaven on our own. Listen to this great quote from our book. Not just mercy, mind you, but grace. Grace goes beyond mercy. Mercy gave Ruth some food. Grace gave her a husband and a home. Mercy gave the prodigal son a second chance. Grace threw him a party. Mercy prompted the Samaritan to bandage the wounds of the victim. Grace prompted him to leave his credit card as payment for the victim's care. Mercy forgave the thief on the cross. Grace escorted him into paradise. Mercy pardons us. Grace woos and weds us. Just how amazing is grace? You see, God sees the troubles in our lives as opportunities to showcase His grace. Like Ruth, we must go out and do that which we know we should be doing. This includes giving grace, as we talked about yesterday. Then we trust God to do that which only He can do. Open doors, move hearts, change us and our lives. And only God knows what He can do with our lives. Mr. Lucado says, you might have a part in bringing Christ to the world. Ruth did. He talks about how she went on to have a son, Obed, who later had a son, Jesse, who later had a son, David. And of this David, Mr. Lucado reminds us that he was the second most famous king to be born in Bethlehem. You know the most famous king, Jesus. Now you know him as even more, your kinsman Redeemer. Redeemer. Grace not only saves us, grace not only forgives us, grace redeems everything that has, is, or will happen to you. I will leave you with my favorite verse. And we know that God works all things together for the good of those who love Him, who are called according to His purpose. Let's never lose the wonder of God's amazing grace. More tomorrow.